all you ordering apps, Amazon, Paytm, Flipkart, Myntra, whoever you are, Swiggy, stock up on those death bowlers because RCB are placing bulk orders very shortly. 99 of 7 they could not defend because for CSK, there is no such thing as a total you cannot get. And the legend of MS Dhoni just grows. What do they call him there? They call him Thala, the head, the leader. And he's done it again. They just do it every time. The masters of the heartbeat. Simon Doull is alongside me. Zaheer Khan is alongside me. Could RCB have done anything different? It was 99 of 7 when Umesh Yadav and Yajwendra Chahal finished. Could they have done anything different?
Well, I mean, the way CSK takes the game deep, I think, they're going to look at it and say that, oh, we couldn't have done anything different. If you are really looking at how CSK has been approaching the game, we spoke in the mid show as well that they're going to see, okay, Umesh Yadav, we're going to be watchful. Chahal, we're going to be watchful. One of the other guys are going to have a day off. So you look at Washington Sundar, he's bowled only 1 over today.
Yes.
So that opens up the game, and they're so good with doing this. They just, I'm not sure whether they actually have a meeting or what, or if everyone just knows the game so well that they know that we're going to take the game deep, even if it's 45 to get off last 3, which they've been doing consistently. It's just the belief they have, I think, and the pressure gets to the other bowlers. Maybe if you have to be overly critical today, Umesh Yadav, if he had bowled in the death overs, things would have been different. The cushion he had in the last game, when someone like Chris Wokes can bowl in the death overs, he didn't really calculate that, I think. If you have to be overly critical of things, but when you have 205 runs, the game is going to go to the end of to the last 2 overs, 3 overs. Considering that, maybe Umesh's 1 over was required there at that stage because you are asking too much out of Corey Anderson. Corey Anderson is not someone who consistently can deliver 4 overs. You can, if he gives you 2 good overs, picks up 1 wicket, well and good. But I think 4 over to expect consistently of him is, I think you're asking too much of Corey Anderson to deliver.
He's sitting in his little town in New Zealand somewhere thinking, will I get a call up? Will I get a call up? He finally gets a call up because Nathan Coulter-Nile, the fast bowler, is not available. He's not in his wildest dreams thinking, I'm bowling 4 overs every game.
No, look, I go back to the selection policy, and this is where Bangalore continually have got it wrong. They've got Saini in the wings waiting to go. They've got Tim Southee now. He may not be 100% fit, Tim Southee. He did have a bit of an issue after the test match in New Zealand. But Chris Wokes plays that game tonight, RCB win that game. That's simple stuff. If Chris Wokes plays, Corey Anderson should not be playing. And I said it 3 to 4 days ago, I said it in Mumbai. There's no way he should be playing in that team at the moment. He's a replacement player as well. So he's come in as a replacement, and he got the nod ahead of Colin de Grandhomme. He's had to bowl 4 overs against Mumbai, got clobbered. He's bowled another 4 tonight. He's been clobbered. He got 2 off 8. He's had no cricket to speak of whatsoever. And they throw him in the selection policy and the backroom thinking, and it's Daniel Vittori, it's Virat Kohli, is poor. It's poor.
I'm telling you, Dhoni's blood pressure would be 120/80.
Through and through, I think it looked like he knew the way he was taking singles when Rayudu was batting. The plan was very clear. You are the aggressor. You're going to take all the risks. I'm just going to give you the single. So in fact, like 4 overs to go, 5 overs to go when Rayudu was batting there, Dhoni didn't take chances. Because he just backed Rayudu to take all the chances. As soon as Rayudu got out, then he took the responsibility. So I think that's something which is just, I think, understood. They're just understanding and believing not in oneself, believing in other. I think because the person who is batting with you, you need to have faith in that person as well. That okay, if I give the strike to him, he's going to deliver.
You know MS well. Start of the season, we're all saying, can MS finish a game or no? Because MS takes time. He takes the asking rate up. He's finishing games again. Today 70 of 34. He never let that asking rate go beyond because, for among other reasons, nobody knows what is beyond. But 70 of 34.
Yeah, brilliant again. And I think it's just a matter of playing some consistent cricket as well. And when he's not getting those opportunities in the Indian side, then it's not going to happen very often. He won't be able to do it because it's not happening enough. In this sort of competition, he can manoeuvre himself in the batting order. He can come in at 4 if he wants, Tonight it was 6, I think, wasn't
Yes.
it? So he can manoeuvre his way around that batting order and say, okay, this is my time. And the bowlers are lesser than at international level as well. So just, remember that as well. These guys are under pressure. They're not international bowlers at every end all the time. So, and he's just calm. He's cool. But gee, they bowled in the slot. I go back to it. They bowled in the slot time and time again. I didn't see a Yorker. I didn't see one Yorker.
And you're calling it
Tonight. It's frustrating to watch. Sure that Daniel and Trent Woodall and McDonald and Gary Kirsten, they spent more money on their support staff than they did on their team this year. I'm sure that they're sitting there pulling their hair out because they can't be the plans.
When it comes down to the last 3 overs, all the other teams are saying how much is enough when you're playing against CSK. I mean, the only game they lost, they had 55 to get and they were 4 short, I think. In the last 3 overs, they've got 50, 44, 50, 46. Last 40 balls, they got 100. And I think Dhoni's plan was, let's let them finish off Umesh Yadav, let them finish off Chahal. Kohli's plan probably was, let me get 1 more wicket and I'm into Harbhajan, I'm into Bravo maybe against a spinner, but how much is enough? And Bravo just comes in, whereas Bravo hit a 6 there.
You know that though. I mean, these guys have been around a long time. Dwayne Bravo will open everything up and look to go over extra cover. Just don't bowl there. Don't give him that option. Get it in the block hole, get it leg stump Yorker, do something different.
You're looking so despondent, almost like you were the RCB bowling coach today, Dooley.
See, as a bowling unit, I must tell you, as a bowling unit, if you have last 3 overs to go, 44 runs to get, I think that's enough.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. If you get the game to that kind of a situation where the opponents need 45 runs to get of the last 3 overs, it's bowler's responsibility to win that game for you. That's full stop. That's how it should be. That's how the bowlers has to stack up the game. Like, how batters stack up the game for Chennai Super Kings. They say, okay, fine, 45 runs we'll get of the last 3. As a bowling unit, I think, if you're doing the meeting, your meeting has to be that, if last 3 overs, 44 runs required, we've done our job. It's just about the dead bowlers to finish the game then. And then that is what is not happening, I think. And CSK somehow is getting the teams in that situation where the errors are happening. You've seen today with bowlers bowling white balls with it's just pressure.
Yeah.
You're not dealing with that pressure. So as a bowling unit, you have to simplify those things. You have to figure out on that particular day what is working for you on that particular track. If it's a slower one, back it. If it's Yorkers, back it. If it's a back of the line deliveries, back it. Get the percentage of those deliveries high. Yes, you have to see who you're bowling to and all that, and that kind of feedback is always there. It's before the start of the game, you have those kind of feedbacks ready. Once the game is started, you know what kind of wicket it is, what kind of deliveries is going to work for you, and then just work on percentage. Get those percentage high, and the result more often than not will be in your favor. I think that's what CSK is doing, and that's what bowlers are not doing against CSK.
What about Rayudu garu?
Brilliant.
82 of 53. నేను చెప్పానండి ఆ రోజు రాయుడు గారు ఎక్కడ చెప్పినా అక్కడ ఆడతారు రాయుడు గారు. ఈ రోజు ధోని గారు చెప్పారు, నైనా ఓపెన్ చేస్తానండి చెప్పారు. ఓపెన్ చేశారు, మ్యాచ్ అక్కడే అయిపోయింది అంతే. I mean, it's incredible.
I got it.
Look, he's phenomenal, and it's a different Ambati Rayudu this year, isn't it?
Is he seeing the ball quicker earlier? There's something about him, and he's not a young kid. He's in his 30s now.
There's a confidence about him, and his role is identified very clearly, I'm sure, by MS, by Stephen Fleming. His role must be identified very, very clearly. And he's been playing to it. He's been
just go for it. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant, especially the spinners.
You know what CSK has also been good with? CSK has been good with picking up Mumbai Indian players who have passed from Mumbai Indians. You look at Dwayne Smith going there. You look at Bravo.
Bravo went there.
Has played
this year
for before, and
who knows?
now
Raji might win a game for them.
so they are I think ready products. They go for ready products which have known to kind of flourish once they go to CSK, and then just different players, I think.
And people will be jumping on Corey Anderson, and it's hard to sit here and say he didn't do the job, because he didn't, but he hasn't bowled. He hasn't bowled overs.
So why did
this
people
is
call
a
him
selection.
random?
This is a selection thing for me. It's not. Don't jump on Corey Anderson if you're an RCB fan. It's not his fault. He's bowled. He's now bowled 10 overs in this tournament, which is 6 more than he's bowled since I think about January 2 years ago or last year, and he only bowled 4 overs in competitive cricket before arriving in India. This is a selection issue. It's not a Corey Anderson issue.
He used to swing the ball in.
Yeah.
Obviously, he can't do that now because he's still too raw. So he just had that one ball to bowl, which is wide of off stump.
Yeah.
It was set up for Bravo. If you tell Bravo, wake up at 3 in the morning, choose a ball, he'll say, give me width, I'll hit over cover.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think, these are the things which we're talking about, and these things need to happen in game time under pressure. I think, when someone like Bravo is batting, you know that his shot is over extra cover. He's got you're bowling to his strength. So as a bowler, maybe you can change the angle. Like you've seen Bravo do it going around the wicket. I think, Corey Anderson now, if you're bowling, then you had to maybe think of changing the angle to kind of work the percentage game. I think today the percentage game was not really working in RCB's favours, particularly in that last over when Bravo was on strike.
What's that saying? If you keep doing the same things, you'll keep getting the same results. And he bowled the same ball time and time again because he didn't have confidence, and that's the other issue. Hasn't played enough, hasn't bowled enough to have confidence in throwing the Yorker in, probably coming around the wicket and sliding a Yorker in. Slower balls, we didn't see too many of those. He just doesn't have confidence because he hasn't played any cricket, hasn't bowled.
3.4 overs 50. Siraj 4 overs 48. He's actually bowling better than those numbers suggest.
He has, I think, because he's been bowling in tough situations as well. So he played the game against Mumbai Indian at Wankhede. That game he was impressive. Even if he's been going for runs, I think he's someone, especially when Umesh is bowling so well. I think it's good to have him in the squad because that gives you flexibility of playing either a foreign all-rounder or a foreign bowler. So I think in today's game, going in with 2 foreign all-rounders was kind of a tough call. I think today's game maybe you go in with someone like Chris Wokes, otherwise Saudi.
Yeah, something to be said in favor of having 2 big overseas fast bowlers. When Mumbai Indians won, they had Malinga and Mitch Johnson bowling. Remember that KKR RCB game? They had Nathan Coulter-Nile, Chris Wokes bowling along with Umesh Yadav. So maybe if that is not an Indian strength, then back your side with who you don't have. So what can they do? Can they get Tim Southee back?
They could bring Tim Southee back in and lose Corey Anderson, or they could bring Chris Wokes back in and keep that de Grandhomme Wokes in the middle order for a little bit of extra batting.
And both of them can slog.
And some death bowling. Is it Nadeep Saini?
Yeah, Navdeep Saini?
Saini. I mean, he's got to come in. He's got to get a game at some stage. And the other thing, Zach, when you're bowling, sometimes give credit to the batsman. I mean, Siraj bowled a beautiful wide Yorker, right? And Dhoni got under it and hit it for 6. Full credit. But after that moment, it was almost like AB and Virat were in his ear saying, well, maybe you've got to do something different now. They went to the shorter ball. He bowled a couple of wides. Then he bowled another wide. So give credit sometimes to the batsman and say, that is a great shot. You've got away with that, but I don't think you can do it again. I don't. That's my plan, is to go full and wide. I don't think you can do that again. But as soon as he got hit for that one, he changed his plan. Tried to bowl a slower bouncer. Tried to bowl a shorter, wider ball.
And a wide Yorker.
Correct. And it just did not work. So sometimes the batsman is allowed to play good shots.
It was a weird game, though. You had 412 runs scored in this game. And yet when Chahal was bowling, when Jadeja was bowling, it looked like the ball was gripping and turning. Quality Indian spinners, you would not have got 400 runs on this track.
And how many maiden overs? 2 maiden overs today.
2 maiden overs in the first innings. It was 205 out of 18.
Yadav and Chahal bowled 8 overs for 49. I think today 8 overs for 49.
Yes,
between the 2 of them.
Yeah, 8 overs for 49. Correct, and 3 wickets.
And 3 wickets. And so the rest of them have gone for 158 in 12 overs.
Why are 4s getting unfashionable?
Well, they're unfashionable at Chinnaswamy, aren't they? Because it's so small and the ball flies further. 4s are still fashionable
I'm
at
just looking down this.
Or,
8
Jaipur.
6s. 8 6s Rayudu, 7 6s to Dhoni, 1 to Bravo. You go back earlier, 17 6s, something like that, 16 6s were hit.
The bigger grounds. I think Chinnaswamy will probably have the most. Barring last year when it was a Turner and it was pretty poor wicket. it's going to have the most sixes across most years, I
Chinnaswamy
would
and
have thought.
Wankhede,
And
I think,
Wankhede,
are the two grounds where you'll see that more sixes have been hit than boundaries, and that's something which I think as a bowling unit and as a batting unit you need to take note of. I think that's something which I think CSK pretty well knew, that we can score runs in sixes, so just take the game, push the game to that pressure zone. I think I think more and more what we're seeing is it just the game has been played in terms of it's a mental game as well. So bowlers are succumbing to pressures, and batsmen kind of able to deal with pressure as far as those back end overs are concerned. I think that's something which like I said, bowlers need to simplify things for themselves.
I think the game starts like this. The batsmen are here, the bowlers are here. There's a time when the loopy bouncer came in, the bowlers just went there. Then the batsman picked up. The wide Yorker came in, the bowlers went up there. I think the batsmen have gone there now. And the bowlers don't have a comeback weapon just yet. But I've got bad news for you. Sorry to interrupt.
What?
I've got very bad news for you.
And it's fine news tonight. I don't mind that, because batsman must win the man of the match. Ambati Rayudu has to win the man of the match tonight.
He didn't.
He won't win it because I know he won't, because MS Dhoni's playing the game.
Correct.
So which is an absolute rubbish decision. Rayudu should be winning the man of the match tonight. But they give it to Dhoni because, he's Dhoni.
No, he finished it.
It doesn't matter whether he finished it or not. Ambati Rayudu set the game up for Dhoni to finish it. He set it up. Yes, Dhoni was Mr. Cool, but and Zach mentioned it before. When Dhoni was in the middle with Rayudu, he was letting Rayudu do all the scoring. Didn't take any risks at all, because he was the man that got them. He opened the batting and was last man out.
Yeah, he was. He got 80.
Opened the batting and was last man out for 80. That is a man of the match
and was getting the runs while the wickets were falling.
Correct. That's a man of the match performance. But just because MS is playing, we better give it to him.
Nothing riles you more than a man of the match award, does it?
I don't mind. Look, it was always going to be one of them. But I would have given it to Rayudu. Personally, I would have given it to Rayudu.
Couldn't find a bowler. If they'd fallen short by a run, you'd have given it to Chahal.
If they'd won, I'd have given it to Chahal.
No Corey Anderson?
No, I don't think so.
Bowling 4 overs.
Oh, man. It's just...
Now, Zach, let's take a look at the points table, because you know Virat pretty well. He wanted nothing more than to win the IPL. He desperately wants to win the IPL. It's something he hasn't done.
Yeah.
Now, what do RCB do? I mean, also, if you put your marketing hat on and you're a decent marketing person with all your restaurants, you want MI to be active till the end. There's a big fan base there. You want RCB, probably the biggest fan base, CSK, to be there. Both of them are struggling. You're not 2-4. What is Kohli thinking? Because once again, exactly the same thing has happened. The batsmen are scoring runs and they don't have the bowlers to defend.
I think they need to figure out their combination a little bit. I think both RCB and MI, I'm not ruling them out of the tournament, because they still have a very good chance. They just need to figure out and fine-tune things a little bit, because both of them, especially MI, is been playing good cricket. It's just they've not been able to close the games. With RCB, they have the squad. I think they just need to figure out their combination a little bit and stabilize things. I know that it's late in the tournament and the pressure is mounting for them, but once they figure out a playing combination and stick to that, and to me their ideal playing combination right now is probably get Chris Stokes and Tim Southee both in, and start with Parthiv Patel opening the innings. So you actually getting a solid base, because let's just be honest, that wicket in Bangalore is not an ideal wicket for bowlers. You need a thick-skinned bowler to deal with the kind of pressures which that wicket has to offer. So I think you need more experienced and bowlers who can handle the pressure, who can accept the challenge of bowling in tough conditions and on a wicket which is not really going to offer you much help, because the margins are small. As in, when your batting has done the job, 205 is enough total to defend. Doesn't matter what kind of wicket you're playing on, or doesn't matter what kind of opposition you're playing on. It just, you need to then in that situation figure out your plans, and those things get simplified when you have experienced bowlers. You don't have to then harp on things that Virat doesn't have to go to the bowler and then say that I think this is the option, wherein the bowler will be telling him that this situation, this condition, I think I'm going to stick to this.
This is what I want to bowl.
Yeah.
That's my field. Woke, Southee, they work that out themselves because they're experienced enough to do that.
I'm the bowler,
and that will give them luxury of bowling Umesh up front. So he can bowl 4 overs happily up front. Then you have three options still: Chris Wokes, Siraj, and Southee for death overs. And then if teams are taking 45-50 runs off last 3, okay, we'll take it, because your best bowlers have gone for 45 runs. That means someone has played a special innings, a special effort to get those kind of runs, and as a team you accept that.
Shake your hands and go. The Whistle Porto Express is not stopping anywhere.
No, it's not. Well, that's the other thing I was just going to say. When I look at that points table, some of those teams down the bottom won't mind the Kings 11 and Chennai continuing to win. Because if they continue to win and keep going ahead, it just makes a bit of a congestion in the middle. I know Sunrise are on 8, but KKR, Rajasthan, RCB, 4, 6, 6. Now, RCB are 2 wins away from 8 points, and then all of a sudden they're right in the mixer again. So you don't mind if 2 teams continue to win and run away with the top of the table, because then you get the real congestion in that middle of the table. And it'll come down to run rate for that 4th spot, somewhere along the line.
So there's a good game coming up now. Kings 11 Punjab playing against Sunrisers Hyderabad. In Hyderabad, which is not a 180-200 kind of surface. What do you make of those 2 teams?
I think Kings is playing very good cricket at the moment. Yeah. And Sunrisers is looking balanced. I think that one team has looked balanced right from the auction day, and even though they've had injuries, Bhuvi is not playing. They had few changes. I think the last win they had against Mumbai Indians is going to give them tremendous confidence. I think when you win games like that, it just takes you to another level in terms of confidence, and that's been Sunrisers' strength. I think that's one team which has always banked on their bowlers and created a team around the strength of the bowlers, and it's exactly as opposed to CSK. The other day we were discussing the numbers of 2 teams which CSK was right at the top in terms of scoring close to 200 runs and winning matches and all that. Here is one team which has created and figured out a different formula of winning games, which is making sure that you restrict teams 10-15 runs below par, and then chase down those runs and give the result.
So I think they're a batsman short.
Yes.
I still think they're a batsman short. So I know at the game we watched yesterday against Mumbai, you saw Mohammad Nabi come into the side. Now, for my liking, I would drop Nabi out tomorrow and I'd bring Alex Hales into the top and just strengthen. With Manish Pandey struggling, which he is struggling a lot this year, I'd like to see another batsman at the top of the order there and bring Alex Hales in, move Williamson back to 3. Looks a lot stronger lineup. They can use Yusuf Pathan with the ball if they want to, if they have to. Shakib is there to offer that left arm spin. Bhuvi will come back in, I would imagine, at home for Sandeep Sharma, and bring in Alex Hales at the top.
The problem with that would be they have only 5 bowlers then. They don't have a 6. So you've got to back Yusuf Pathan. I don't think he bowls anymore.
Well, no.
Williamson bowls an over or 2 here and there, or what do they do?
If they have Siddharth Kaul and Basil Tampi,
Bhuvi
and Rashid Khan
and Shakib.
That's 5 bowlers. And Yusuf and Kane.
Yeah.
If they need them. Well, Yusuf Pathan, Kane Williamson can bowl 1 over each if they have to. But they've got away with a theory of bowling just 5 bowlers in general terms.
They like Basil Tampi bowling at the back, but nobody has been more impressive than Sandeep Sharma bowling at the front. So which of the 2 would you play? If Bhuvi has to come back.
If Bhuvi comes back, he offers you front and back. He offers you the death. So it's just a matter of saying, okay, are we going to be okay without Basil Tampi at the end? We probably will, because we've got Bhuvi, and maybe we can... Sandeep's probably not, but Siddharth Kaul has done well at the death for them. So maybe that's the option.
Okay, so that's the Sunrisers. Kings 11 didn't play Chris Gayle the other day because he was a bit stiff. But he's had enough time now to rest. So the universe boss will come back to Hyderabad. So they'll have so straight swap. You think Gayle for Finch? What do you think? So I think Gayle for Miller and Finch goes back down.
Finch goes back down, but this is a side as well that I think the Sunrisers track, the track in Hyderabad will suit. Off the pace, off-pace bowlers and Andrew Ty. You've got good spinners and Ashwin and Mujib. We might see Yuvraj roll his arm over tomorrow. Ankit Rajput, impressed with him. Srayan has got the slower ball. So I think, Zach, it's a team that will suit the Hyderabad ground as well.
Yeah, I think it's looking complete team. I think, you know, and because they've been winning matches, that's one thing was required for Kings 11, and Chris Gayle, the kind of spark which he's offered for Kings 11 has really helped. So I think it's between Aaron Finch and Miller. I don't see any other changes in that lineup. Barinder Saran has been bowling really well. I think, you know, he's made a solid claim. I think you'll see him contributing in this season for sure.
Mujib Zadran, or Mujibur Rahman as he's called, he finished it, but the 19th was the key over, and that was bowled by Barinder Saran. He bowled 3 expensive overs, but he bowled a really good 19th over. And I thought it was interesting what Ashwin said at the end that day, that it was not about who was to bowl, but what lengths Barinder Saran was going to bowl. So Ashwin's doing a good job, isn't he?
Yes, I think, you know, he's growing in confidence now. You just have to see, you know, how he is experimenting in terms of his own bowling. I think, you know, he started with too much of experimentation. Now he's looking settled, but he needs to persist with that. I think, you know, he needs to be just careful with that, because as a captain, you have to make sure that that your performance is right up there, because at times, you know, if you're not bowling at the standard which you've set for yourself, that can really affect your captaincy. You know, so that's something which he has to be careful of. Winning matches has obviously helped, but at the back end of the tournament, you know, you've seen teams getting on winning momentum, or they've got onto a losing momentum, which can really affect. And at that stage, I think, you know, the real test for Ashwin is going to come, because he's set up the season very nicely for him. I think, you know, they will be very disappointed if they don't qualify from this kind of position, and that can happen only if they got onto a losing momentum, which we've seen in the past. Doesn't really look like happening, but all in all, those are the things which he has to be watchful of, other than he's just growing in confidence, I think, which should help him.
Sunrisers, Kings.
Oh, tough to go against the Sunrisers at home, isn't it? They're a very, very good side. And I mean, I watched them last night at Wankhede, just find a way. I mean, find a way. I mean, I know Mumbai found a way to lose that game, but Sunrisers found a way to win when they hadn't scored anywhere near.
Now, in a sense, you were saying that the lower teams want 2 teams to fly away, right?
Correct.
So if the Sunrisers win, they go up to 10 points as well.
10, yeah,
there's 3 on 10. So the lower teams are all sitting there already halfway into this tournament saying, Kings,
come on,
win one more, CSK win one more, fly away at the top.
Absolutely, that's what they're hoping for, that's what they're thinking.
But I mean, here are 2 teams. I know Sunrisers won in 2016, but here are 2 teams at the start of the season. You say, wow, I'm waiting for the IPL. I'm waiting for Mumbai Indians. I'm waiting for CSK. I'm waiting for RCB. No one is saying, I'm waiting for Rajasthan Royals. I'm waiting for Sunrisers. I'm waiting for Kings. And guess what? These are the teams that are saying, come look at us.
Found their combinations quite early on, haven't they? And I think that's one of the keys. And the Indian players. You win the IPL because of your Indian players. Yes, your international guys will win you a match here and there, but the consistent performances of your top-class Indian players, particularly your bowlers, they win you the IPL. Sunrisers have got the best Indian local bowling attack, and that is part of the reason that they are a good side. And then you look at the Kings 11, much the same. Got a very good bowling attack, full of a lot of good local players, plus you know, Mujib now and Andrew Ty.
Even when they won it in 2016, Nehra had a great season for them. Barinder Saran had a great season for them. They let go Mustafizur. They probably realized that he's probably served his utility. They probably just let him go, and now they've got they've got a decent bowling lineup. Sandeep Sharma comes in, Basil Thampi comes in, Bhuvneshwar is good, so they're doing all right. So there you are. But what a game today, huh? What a game today. It's never enough if you're playing CSK.
Well, it's never over, and that's what I love about. And that's, you know, we talked prior to the show, I've been open about the fact that you wonder when the wheels are going to fall off. But it's the experience that got them through again today. The experience of a rider.
What does Stephen Fleming say? We're not here to develop players, we're here to win the tournament.
We're here to win the tournament, and they are continually showing that they have the side that can win the tournament.
It'll be a fairy tale. Come back after 2 years and win the tournament. No, it's a long way to go. Guys, we're not going anywhere. Visselpotu Express, there's a few stops on the way. But tonight, wherever you are, celebrate with your thala. Wherever you are in Chennai or wherever, this was a win to savor. Like there have been so many others. We'll come back with Sunrisers versus Kings 11 tomorrow, right here on Cricbuzz Live. But before we finish, there was that tricky question today. Joy Bhattacharya was not here. His spirit is hovering all over this studio. Tarwar Kohli, that was one of the clues. Tarwar Kohli and Shane Watson's names come first. Chris Lynn, the second last, that was another clue. Which Indian is currently the last name in a very specific list? And as it turns out, we got two of those, though they didn't satisfy the criteria that Joy had. We got two of those today. So what's the answer? How many of you got it? Hardik Pandya facing a maiden over in the IPL. Glenn McGrath bowled the first in 2008 against the Rajasthan Royals. Trent Boult bowled the second last this year against Chris Lynn. Rashid Khan bowled a maiden over against Hardik Pandya. We had two today, but it wasn't one batsman facing the entire over. You hardly get any maiden over. So that was the answer today. The answer was Hardik Pandya, not because he got man of the match in his first IPL game, as some of you have suggested, but because he played out a maiden over, 3 of 19. So there you are, gentlemen. Joy was back in form, and we had one winner today eventually, because at the halfway point there wasn't one. Shivendra at Shiven_Tandon, well done. You did all right. You're not getting the red. You're not getting the red table. We'll keep that red table for when Gaurav Kapoor comes, because without telling us, he's actually taken photographs of this. He's gone to his carpenter and he's getting 20 made. Everywhere he goes, you'll find a little red table. Right, SRH versus Kings 11. Thank you very much to Simon Doull, to Zaheer Khan, and join us on Cricbuzz Live. We're having fun. I hope you're enjoying it too.